Hello friends, welcome to Success Hub Media. In this tutorial, we'll be learning how to divide both sides by the coefficient of x. If you are new to this channel, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified automatically whenever a new video is released. Dividing both sides by the coefficient of x is a part of solving equations. There are three key things we are going to learn from this tutorial. The first being what is meant by the phrase coefficient of x. The second is when to divide both sides by the coefficient of x. And lastly, we will learn how to divide both sides by the coefficient of x. Starting with the first scope item, what is the coefficient of x? Coefficient of x is any number that is married with x with a multiplication sign. In this first example, we can see that 2x is equals to 6. We can see that 2 is married to x. In mathematics, when two things are joined together or frozen together like this, it simply means there is an invisible multiplication that is marrying them together. So we can say that 2 times x was what gave us 2x. So there is an invisible multiplication marrying them together. So coefficient of x is any number that is married with x with a multiplication sign. So in this case, the coefficient of x is 2. If we look at the second example, 5x equals 25, the coefficient of x in this case is 5. And in this third example, 4p equals 24, the coefficient of p is 4. You might want to ask why we are using letter p when we've already established that we are talking about the coefficient of x. Take note that we have used the letter x because x is a very popular alphabet in mathematics. And also take note that alphabets are also referred to as variables in mathematics. So we could decide to use any other variable other than x. But the good thing is this: whatever rule applies to x applies to every other variable. Okay. The numbers in the equation below are not coefficient of x. It simply means we are about seeing instances that we are likely to confuse as coefficient of x. So the essence of bringing them out is so that we can get used to them and know that they are not coefficient of x, so that we can have or build confidence in our mathematical solving steps. So the first one now is 2 plus x equals to 6. 2 is not the coefficient of x because it is married or related to x with an addition sign, not a multiplication sign. The same thing applies to the second example where we have 5 minus x equals 25. 5 is not the coefficient of x. And the same thing applies to p plus 4 equals 24. 4 is not the coefficient of p. Now, the second scope item, when to divide by the coefficient of x. You divide both sides by the coefficient of x when x is frozen with a number or another alphabet with a multiplication sign, and the combination is equal to another number or expression, just like we've already established. Now, looking at these examples that we've considered before, 2x is equals to 6. So 2 is frozen with x and is equal to a number. Sometimes it could be an expression such as plus m or plus any other thing, but in this case it's just a number. So you can divide both sides by coefficient of x in this case. So the same thing applies to the second example, which is 5x equals 25, and the same thing applies to 4p equals 24. Now, in the following instances, you cannot divide both sides by the coefficient of x. The first being 2 plus x equals to 6, 5 minus x equals to 25, and p plus 4 equals to 24. So how do we divide both sides by the coefficient of x? Note, use the number that is frozen with x to divide both sides because it is the coefficient of x. So if we take some examples, if we have 2x equals to 6, the number that is frozen with x in this case is 2. So we can say that 2 is the coefficient of x. So we'll divide both sides by the coefficient of x. So we'll divide the left-hand side of this. This is the equation. We'll divide the left-hand side by the coefficient of x, which is 2. and we divide the right-hand side by the coefficient of x, which is also 2. So when 2 divides 2, it will leave us with 1x equals to, when 2 divides 6, it will leave us with 3. So that will be 1x equals to 3. But in mathematics, we prefer writing this 1 as invisible. So instead of writing 1x, it is preferable we write x. So our answer becomes x equals to 3. So the same thing applies to this second example where we have 5x equals 25. The number that is frozen with x in this case is 5. So we have 5x equals to 25. We'll divide both sides by the coefficient of x. We divide both sides, the left side and the right-hand side, by 5. And we have 1x equals to 5. We've already established that we prefer writing x. So we are going to have x equals to 5. And the same thing applies to this third example where we have 4p equals to 24. So in this case, the number that is frozen with p is 4. 4p equals 24. We'll divide both sides by the coefficient of p. We'll divide the left-hand side and the right-hand side by the coefficient of p, being 4, as we can see. So we'll have 1p equals to 6. I'll prefer leaving our answer as p equals to 6. So these are some practice questions for you to lay your hands on, for you to try. You can leave your answers in the comment section of this video. If there is any part of this video you don't understand, you can let me know your gray area so I'll respond to you. And if there is any topic in mathematics you would like me to make a video on, please let me know and I will oblige. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you for listening.